Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here. And are they planning a false flag cyber attack right now that could be utilized to bring in the technocratic agenda that we warn about all the time? Because right now they're utilizing this issue with Iran as kind of entry point for such a false flag. It says out of the leading report here, breaking, former CIA hacker warns that the U.S. will likely face a massive cyber attack from Iran within the next 30 days. So it's amazing they always know within 30 days, or they'll have nukes within 15 days. Why not 15 hours at this point? Let's just put a random time limit on that. Benjamin Netanyahu said in the 90s that Iran was just weeks away from nuclear weapons. We've been hearing this for a long time. I wrote on X at World Alt Media. Did Israel plant this story? Obvious false flag is obvious. Look, we have so many examples here of this push for a false flag cyber attack to bring in more surveillance and more control of the people via AI and all these different things, digital IDs. This is out of Natural News. Trump administration plans massive censorship surge targeting critics of Israel and escalating Iran conflict. This is a perfect entry point. Again, utilizing these cyber attacks. This is out of Natural News as well. Cyber attack cripples North America's largest grocery distributor, threatening supply chain. And that is one of the major ways they get us to this point where people are on their knees begging, dependent, completely, unable to take care of themselves. They go after the food. They go after your money. They go after your ability to access just the internet in general. This is a great way to bring us into the Internet of Things, ironically, which, of course, would be total technocratic control as they take over jobs with AI across the board, which Elon Musk has been praising, as they bring in Palantir to create this database on Americans, while, of course, this comes right after these AI meetings with Larry Fink of BlackRock, Trump, the Saudi Crown Prince, Alex Karp of the CEO of Palantir, among others. And right as the CBDC system is laid out, every country basically in the world is bringing in a digital ID right now. UK, the US, Russia, Ukraine. I mean, you name it. We are going to dive into some of these issues today. We have a lot of interesting headlines, a lot of interesting stories coming out right now, and how they will pull us into this system. But before we do, before we go into that, I urge you to check those links below. We have heavensharvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, and books on how to get started. Use code WAM, W-A-M, and you'll get 5% off as well as free shipping on these items. This is so incredibly important going forward because this is how you avoid being in those food ration lines down the road, which is exactly where they want you. So, my friends, this is how you ensure that you stay independent, not dependent on that system. Go and check it out today. Save yourself, save your family. This is not a false alarm. It's not about fear mongering. It's about giving real solutions like this. Whambeef.com for 10 plus year shelf life, freeze dried steak, 12 servings per bag. There, you can also find freeze-dried chicken and ground beef, by the way. There, you could use code WAMBEEF, WAMBEEF, all one word, and you will get 20% off on your order. Again, this is a major no-brainer going forward. Guaranteed no mRNA, no lab-grown meat, all-American beef that's 100% natural. Go and check it out at whambeef.com today, code WHAMBEEF. And make sure to hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Find us on Rumble and BitChute specifically, because that is the most important place. Those are the most important places to subscribe. Anyway, so we have this clearly Israeli planted story about this former CIA hacker warning that the U.S. will likely face a massive cyber attack from Iran within the next 30 days. It's a story that's been going viral. I wrote on X at World Alt Media. Did Israel plant this story? Obvious false flag is obvious. It goes without saying at this point, they are going for broke on this, as we recently seen multiple cyber attacks. These cyber attacks are made to essentially, first of all, it's multiple birds with one stone that it kills. You cause this problem, then they say, oh, well, look, we need to come in with more surveillance to keep people safe, quote unquote. Oh, great. How nice. Thank you for keeping us safe, I guess. Yeah, well, that is, of course, not the main basis of this. On top of that, you have this other problem reaction solution repeat scenario, Hegelian dialectic, if you will. where you have them then say, oh, well, they attack the food supply. So to keep the food supply safe, we need to ration food and keep it going through the government via these shadow corporations to create this system of surveillance and governance surrounding this. They'll probably hire Palantir or Elon Musk for this, or one of these major companies. I mean, BlackRock is trying to take over shipping, not just the property market, but also shipping right now in the Panama Canal versus China, which is one of their top places that they're invested in. So this isn't about this side versus that side. Well, it's clear to me that that is a World Economic Forum agenda. This is the idea of putting everything into a compilation of surveillance technology to ration it off to people. And they're also just talking about giving people mRNA rations and stuff like that already. So across the board, we have this is extremely dangerous going forward. They have the ability to, because people are so dependent and because they're in fear and because they're creating these problems, then they can come in with these solutions. Then they can force people into this Logan's Run type society. And I think that's exactly what's happening right now. And it starts with censorship, but the real censorship will be the censorship of the mind, the censorship of the human spirit, the individualism of the individual. Trump administration plans massive censorship surge targeting critics of Israel amid escalating Iran conflict. So that makes total sense alongside the claims that Iran is doing some cyber attack. Again, they're also saying that they got their nuclear capabilities. I know the U.S. is thinking about sending in nukes into Iran as well. Total insanity ramping up right now, all by design, all manufactured. And this is happening as these cyber attacks cripple North America's largest grocery distributor, threatening supply chain. This happened about 10 days ago, and I wanted to bring it in. I was waiting to talk about this story, but with everything else, with this claim about the cyber attacks from Iran, it makes perfect sense because they always will look for someone to blame. UNFI, North America's largest grocery distributor, halted deliveries after a cyber attack disrupted operations for 30,000 retail locations. That's insane. Obviously a litmus test, in my opinion. The breach forced UNFI to shut down critical systems, causing temporary but widespread supply chain disruptions. Grocery chains like Morton Williams and Whole Foods face shortages, with smaller businesses hit hardest by delivery shortages. The attack aligns with warnings about foreign cyber threats, although UNFI hasn't attributed the breach to a specific actor. Well, it's all about normalization, right? UNFI's stock dropped 8.5%, highlighting investor concerns over long-term vulnerabilities in critical food infrastructure. Look, we're already seeing gridlocks in a lot of the ports. We've covered that heavily. We're seeing record shortages, 73-year shortage of cattle head right now. And remember, there's less than 1 billion people on Earth 73 years ago. So we're talking 1952. Now we have, they don't even know. Could be 8, could be as far as 10 billion people. It's hard to keep track of this stuff, and trust me, they want to keep track of it with AI and these digital infrastructures that they're building. But we're talking record. We're talking 8 to 10 times of a bigger shortage than we saw back then, just based on the population. So that alone is a major thing. Then in comes the bird flu, and then they want to claim that they want to inject all these cattle or just kill off all these cattle or chickens or pigs. And of course, they have all these other disease concerns. Then they have World War III, which they're manufacturing, which would absolutely devastate the supply chain. We're seeing that in the Strait of Hormuz right now. And of course, the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Peninsula. Then we also have what's happening at the Panama Canal right now. Then we have the claim or the push for civil war, which is not grassroots. It's totally manufactured. They want this. It's all about bringing in emergency orders. All these things combined, plus these cyber attacks, my goodness, to me, it goes without saying that this is the agenda going forward, because of course, you will own nothing and you will be happy is the trademark of the World Economic Forum of Klaus Schwab. And then of course, people like Yuval Noah Harari claiming his dream is, and I quote, his dream is to live in a world where people are placated on drugs playing video games. Well, how nice, how positive is that? Insanity. So all of that leads us to this point where, okay, we have these shortages. Then they come in with the digital IDs. Then they replace jobs with AI. It's a total overhaul of the system, a total shift into technocracy, which we've been warning about forever. ever here at World Alternative Media. And look, people say the war is about causing massive amounts of death. And yeah, we could attribute that to the war. Obviously, it's manufactured that way. But the biggest thing is emergency orders, and for them to have the pretext, the excuse to bring in the reset, which they think is prophesized. These people are religious about this. It's insane. So when we're seeing them go after stores like this, we're seeing the censorship coming in, and they're blaming Iran, when they're claiming that the cartels in Mexico work with Iran, which is absurd. I live in Mexico. It's just not the case. And then you see these AI, policies coming in. It's obvious that this is all part of the same puzzle. Technocracy News says it begins AI taking thousands of jobs. Will it take yours? Absolutely. This is one of the things that Elon Musk claims, that AI will destroy humanity, but he also is one of the number one people developing it. Elon says billions of robots will produce goods and services basically for free. There'll ultimately be billions of humanoid robots. All cars will be self-driving. Goods and services will become close to free. Free. What does free mean? My friends, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. There is no property. It's all shared. It's not as though, he says, it's not as though people will be wanting in terms of goods and services. You'll have tens of billions of robots that will make you anything or provide any service you want for basically next to nothing. People will not have a lower standard of living. They'll actually have a much higher standard of living. The challenge will be fulfillment. How do you derive fulfillment and meaning in life? Yeah, this guy is one of the most obvious Trojan horses, and he says this in a conversation with Ted Cruz. I wrote on X at World Alt Media, which, by the way, I urge you all to go and follow if you haven't yet already. Good to get you guys on as many platforms as possible so we can reach you, because they don't want us to reach you. I wrote, this is a World Economic Forum agenda. And as Elon says, don't worry, you can have UBI, Universal Basic Income. He's been pushing that a lot lately alongside carbon taxes, which is the World Economic Forum agenda. I said he has always been the Trojan horse of technocracy. He quite literally says AI will destroy humanity while he is the number one person building AI. He wants to put chips in your brain attached to a Pentagon-funded mesh network. What more do you need to wake up? He just sold X to XAI for $33 billion and is creating a digital ID and social credit system here while pushing X money. I wrote, this is Natural News. It says UK police deploy controversial AI surveillance tool built by Palantir, which is happening simultaneously as they're unraveling this, or unveiling, I should say, this pre-crime data in New York, where they can tell with facial recognition if people are about to commit a crime. Just absolute insanity. And how do you even define that? Meanwhile, Trump taps Palantir to create master database on every American. Palantir is one of the biggest funders of the Trump campaign, and of course was just meeting with him alongside Larry Fink of BlackRock, which, it's funny because everyone on usually the people that support Trump don't like Larry Fink that much, but don't like BlackRock very much. But somehow it's okay when it happens like this. Look, as Henry Fjord on X wrote, if these aren't the globalists, who are? This is Sam Altman of OpenAI. This meeting. What they claimed, this is Trump dumping Netanyahu. It's so stupid. The NVIDIA CEO, Citibank, all these guys. This isn't him dumping Netanyahu. This is, and by the way, people ate their words on that. There's Larry Fink and Saudi Crown Prince and Donald Trump. And it wasn't about dumping Netanyahu. This was a part of the concerted effort to create an AI governance with Saudi Arabia and all these other countries, with these technocrats, and create a world government based on this, and create a world economy that's digital, and shift the power from the west to the east. And of course, another one, and there's Alex Karp of Palantir meeting with Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince. The other part of this is the idea of creating AI weaponry, which Palantir, by the way, already has. Palantir is using AI drones to indiscriminately bomb children in Palestine. So again, this is already happening. If these aren't the globalists, then who are? To those saying Trump is anti-globalist, what is that if that's not globalism? I mean, really. And so we have that system being built, and people just don't want to acknowledge it. Oh, well, they're mega till the end. That's a cult, my friends. You base your views on what is happening point by point, and be consistent, for the love of God. Mainstream alternative media continues to open wide and get on their knees. Musk confirms X money beta testing ahead a planned 2025 launch. I reported on this last month. Musk left the Trump administration and immediately went into this planning phase. This is all this, the whole spat and everything, total nonsense. This is just a shift to go from state to corporation, creating the technologies, moving into this technocracy under the guise of being independent and private, which they're not. They're basically an intelligence agency apparatus. X money comes out as we also see the Genius Act and the Stable Act bringing in the CBDC system in the United States with KYC, as the UK, or not the UK, as the European Union announces that they are releasing their CBDC by October at the latest, as they unravel or unveil, I keep saying unravel, as they unveil the digital ID system. And everyone's doing it. Russia to mandate state-backed digital ID app on all devices. They're like the top ally of China, which was the blueprint that the United States created for technocracy, used as a litmus test, a guinea pig state. The Trilateral Commission under Zbigniew Brzezinski and the Rockefellers did that. Kissinger went and saved them from a starvation event and propped them up as a monopoly. The US and China are working directly together. They're not really enemies. This is all just a manufactured system of chaos to bring in order. Russia to mandate, again, these state-backed digital ID apps on all devices. A government-mandated super app looms over Russian smartphones, folding daily life into the state's digital reach as they bring in 15-minute cities across the board and all over the world. Apple introduces digital passport IDs, marking major step towards normalized digital ID integration. And we see the same thing with the Real ID in the US. And Amazon to invest $20 billion in battleground state to expand AI infrastructure, as the federal government, by the way, bans Congress for 10 years from having state by state control over AI regulations. It's all going to be federal. It's not a coincidence that this is happening. Trump puts $500 billion into AI, including mRNA cancer vaccines. I mean, insanity. Meanwhile, what do they know? Well, we know they know a lot. Right. So OpenAI co-founder Sutskever wanted to build a doomsday bunker to protect company scientists before an artificial general intelligence is released. As I wrote on X, the people creating AI are building bunkers to escape AI. Do you get it yet? I hope to God that you do. As I've been writing, and this comes down to the censorship issue as well, because it's all part of censoring your ability to be a human being. It starts with speech. I wrote on X at World Alt Media again. I wrote for national security concerns, they will soon purge X accounts. Mark my words. Screenshot this. Emergency orders will come following a disastrous intro into the war. False flags will pop off in many places in the West. I hope you're prepared. Follow me on Getter at World Alternative Media and keep up to date on BitChute. I hope people follow us there, because we won't be around much longer on most of these platforms. And we've already been banned for years on YouTube, only to be allowed back for no reason. Recently, I find it most likely that they're using it to build this AI system and teach it. LifeSite News reports Elon Musk says Neuralink brain implants will augment human capabilities dramatically. So please tell me how all these things are happening simultaneously, and it's somehow a coincidence. Oh, and Trump is really in on that. Yeah, no, he's trying to bring down the deep state. This is the deep state, and this is, by the way, deeper than any deep state. It's beyond shadows. This is the idea of transhumanism and interdimensional frequency. I mean, it's crazy. It's so beyond just some bad guy behind the curtains telling people what to say. We're talking about a shift into total augmentation. Nothing is real. Everything is controlled. Everything is seen and surveilled. Everyone is essentially dependent. No one has any ability to care for themselves. And the way they do that is first making us weak, demoralizing society to collapse society from the inside out. And of course, pushing us into a system where when an emergency happens, we don't have any ability to take care of ourselves. So therefore, here, take our what we have for you. We have all these different tools for you, but you must be compliant, because the currency of the future isn't just digital. The currency of the future is compliance. It's you giving up your humanity, because the war isn't just on Iran. Mossad isn't just going after Palestine and Iran and Yemen, these countries. The intelligence agencies are committed to a satanic war on humanity itself, the basis of humanity itself. While mainstream alternative media, which would usually, the alternative media used to be against chips in your brain and all this stuff. Oh, it's different when they do it. They're totally ignoring it. They're following along with the agenda that brings the world into the brink of war and pushes emergency orders. The United Nations Pact for the Future, which was signed by 193 countries back in September, mandated the net zero agenda by 2029, talking about depopulation by 2030, and makes it so that you can't access your bank account if you say negative things about the government or if you oppose the state. And that also includes there's going to be food rations on that, social credit, all these different things. I mean, they're developing it. It's obvious. Why aren't people more concerned about this? I don't want people to be afraid, but why aren't people more concerned about this and preparing more? Why aren't people going out and actually getting storeable food? Why are people keeping all their money in the bank? Why are people sitting on their hands with this and saying, we'll wait to see what happens? This is a real thing that's happening right now. I know it's hard to believe, but remember, most people, including those that watched my videos back in January of 2020, January 22nd, 2020, the first video I did on the COVID stuff, 2 days before Chinese lockdown, said I was crazy for all the things I predicted back then. And then lockdowns came a couple months later. People act like, oh, well, nothing crazy, that crazy can happen. Well, I mean, yes, it can, and it will. And it's not about it being afraid. It's about being prepared. That is the most important thing here. That's what I try to bring home to people every single day here at World Alternative Media. Because the transhumanist agenda is very real, and we're on the cusp of it. So as they push this hoax about Iran, I urge you to go and get prepared today. I urge you to go and check out whambeef.com for 10 plus year shelf life freeze-dried steak, 12 servings per bag. Again, I was promoting storable foods for years and years before I ever made a cent off of it. This isn't about making money. This is about making sure that you guys have what it takes to survive what comes next. It goes without saying. Anyway, there's also freeze-dried chicken and ground beef. Use code WHAMBEEF, WAMBEEF, all one word, and you will get 20% off on these items. So again, no brainer. Go and check this out today. In the description of the video is guaranteed no mRNA, no lab-grown meat. All American beef that's 100% natural. So go and check that out below. Also, check out heavensharvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, books on how to get started. Use code WHAM, W-A-M, and you will get 5% off as well as free shipping on this in the United States. Again, stock up on this today. Later on, you won't be dependent on them if you are, well, independent. The basis of humanity, the basis of freedom, they're both synonymous. They also accept gold and silver over at heavensharvest.com, and you could pay over time as well. You don't have to pay all at once. You get plans on this. This is how you help yourself going forward. You can also check out our link for firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/. It has to be that exact link. And there you can avoid CBDCs by buying physical gold, silver, platinum, palladium, holding it in your hand, put it in a vault, put it in an IRA outside of the traditional IRA system. You could schedule an appointment for a free consultation with Mark Gonzalez and a complimentary investors package. We do a lot of work with Mark, and we hope you watch our videos with him over on Rumble and BitChute at World Alternative Media. We have several of them recently on the monetary system and the things that they're doing to us via the monetary system. Let him know in the comments of the form when you go to that website that you found him at World Alternative Media, or WHAM, W-A-M. We appreciate it, and I know you'll appreciate it going forward. We have a bunch of health-related links that you can only find on Rumble and BitChute if you're watching this on YouTube, because we're not even allowed to attach those links or mention it in the videos, or they take the video down. So please go and find us on Rumble and BitChute today and help support us if you can, because we are, I can't tell you how badly we're doing right now. We have been absolutely devastated, and people have reached out and helped us continue to survive a bit longer. But it's just one thing after another. It's so depressing. We ever since January, especially, we've seen a 90% drop in revenue because how dare we be consistent and call out war and call out technocracy and chips in your brain and all that. Because, oh, Elon is good, right? And then, oh, Trump, you can't say anything negative about Trump, even though he's doing all these things that the neocons that started the Never Trump movement have been wanting to do for all these years and turning into Bush 2.0. But, oh, we must trust him, and like a blind cult. It's so frustrating because we have lost almost everything. And we need your help more than ever before. I mean, I don't know how we're going to survive another 2 months. I really don't. I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. I don't know what I'm going to do. We are working hard to bring you videos every day that are consistent and give you the truth as well as solutions. If you go on Patreon or Subscribestar or exit at World Alt Media and pay $4.99 a month or more, you'll get exclusive content, sometimes videos a day or two before they are released. So go and check those out. Of course, we have a PayPal address, ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com. We have a Bitcoin address that you could scan on the screen here, if you please, as well as find in text form in the description of the video. And we have a Cointree link with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can donate in, if you please, including privacy coins. So check that out. We have a Teespring store with a bunch of merchandise on it, and of course, including our shirt "No War with Iran," which we made in 2020. We urge people to go and check those out and help support us if you can. And also find us on Telegram, Rockfin, Band.video, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and Brighteon at World Alternative Media. We're on Hive, Steemit, and Vigilante.tv at Josh Sigurdson. And on the Bad Guys, TikTok and Instagram, World Alternative Media, Twitter and Getter at World Alt Media. And of course, all the major podcast platforms except for Spotify, where of course we're banned. Hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, my friends, live freely, live by example. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.